Welcome in to the Sorare Data Auction Watch. I'm Andrew Laird, joined once again by Maxime Hagenberger and Andy Black, who you can find as Maxime HG and Black on Sorare. Sean Newsham decided to join us from the beginning today. You can find him at PSU Fans too. We're watching the Vinícius Júnior auction today that Zora looks like he was really into, and then Max decided to say he liked it a little more. So we're 77 and 7s ETH, which is, where are we?
Lucky sevens, right?
Yeah, lucky sevens. $225,000 as of now. And we've got, about 26 minutes and change. So do we start with like a prediction? Actually, Sean, I'm going to let you go first because you seemed pretty adamant about your thought. But you also said you thought this one was more interesting than a Haaland one. Do you want to tell us why?
I just think that there's more subjectivity in this one, and people view Haaland and Mbappe as the clear top dogs. I'm not sure Vinícius shouldn't be in that discussion. I think we're going to see 150 to 200 on this.
ETH.
Yeah, ETH is what I'm thinking. At least it's going to go over 100. It's going to go I think it's going to go at least 125, but I think we're going to get to 150 to 200 on this.
Yeah. You look like you were scoffing a little bit, but also that you might be agreeing.
Yeah, so we live in a world where Joshua Kimmich card trades for 4.5 ETH. So I'd say that I wouldn't be that much surprised if we go to 150 territory, but I would say under it, just for the sake of it. But I wouldn't pay if I had unlimited money for, let's say, I wouldn't pay for more than 150.
I think initially I thought 100 would be a good over under, but I think you guys have me leaning or thinking more towards maybe 150 would be a good number to just be out of over under, and I'm still gonna take the under. I was gonna be under 100 actually, but man, you guys have me really really leaning the opposite way now.
Do you think that there are just more people who would be interested in this card up to 150 than the Haaland one? Is it just that you think, Sean, do you think we get to 150 because there are enough people who are willing to push it up there?
To be fair, it's already not that far off. It's at 77, so you're only 5-6 bids off. I guess you're a little bit more, 6 to 8 bids off.
You say that as if it's a little amount of money.
Yeah, no, I mean it isn't. But in terms of the amount of bids it has to go, it doesn't go. What are we looking at? 88 to 100, or 88 to 99 to
111
to 111, 130, 150. We're not that many bids off realistically to get there. I think that it's going to be the same group of people. It's not going to be a different group of people. Did we see? So you guys did the whole show last time. I obviously joined after. Was there any randoms that were completely unexpected?
No.
Okay. So
no one knew that. Nobody knew.
Gotcha. I think you're looking at the same group of people. Did you guys see? I'm not sure if you or HG saw because you guys hadn't posted. They just posted Courtois and Marquinhos leaks.
And auctions ending during halftime of the game of the PSG Real game on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's so a thought from me is I don't understand that from Sorare perspective, because these whales, these people that are paying the 150, 200 ETH, they even have difficulty moving that much ETH. So if you, let's say they just moved 150 in for Vinícius, which is possible. We don't know what we're going to see today, but let's hypothetically say that that pops in there. Could be difficult for them to regenerate another 100, 150 ETH for a Marquinhos Courtois auctions on Tuesday. So maybe someone was planning to win Vinícius, but they're I really need Marquinhos and I can't afford to not have the funds available, so I'll wait. That is, so Zarky Poo made a comment. We haven't seen him in a while, but Cam and Barrett showing up is a possibility for this more so than a different card.
He owned the original Vinícius though, right? And then sold it to Zura.
9 to Zura in September, I believe.
39 ETH.
Yep, 39.
That's
ETH.
price. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's weird like to have like those two auctions, like the Courtois and Marquinhos auctions, ending during the game. I think it's very weird. To be honest, I thought at first that it was Sorare data that was that something was wrong with my website when I saw when the two auctions were ending, but no, it seems like it's actually going down on Tuesday. But yeah, very weird way to auction cards and great cards. But maybe they want like people to actually watch the game and be on Sora at the same time. I don't know what maybe they're planning for more. But yeah, I was a bit surprised about this. But also worth noting is all the auctions that are going on right now, and some of them ending just now or have ended already. We've seen Kimmich being sold at Kimmich Rare, of course, being sold at 4.4 ETH. I've seen Marquinhos going. Mbappe was gone for 7 ETH, which is pretty okay, and Marquinhos went for 1.8. So not too much craziness right now, but I guess seeing Kimmich at 4.4 ETH is something I didn't expect that fast, let's say.
For the rare?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously. But
I mean, the limited card also goes for 1 ETH right now, so I guess if we do 10x on that we still have a lot of margin left for the rare card.
Yeah, it is a lot. What did that Gakpo super rare go for?
10.3 to Zima.
Are we okay? Are we okay to have Zima win that? Is everybody all right with that?
I don't know Zima's gallery well enough, but does the Vinícius card make any sense for him?
Sure.
Yeah.
You double him up with Aaron, then you have a great U23 Division.
Well, I didn't know if he maybe had another elite.
He has Bastoni.
Forwarder. Okay.
Yeah, but Bastoni is out for like months or something.
Yeah. Well, it was a bad ankle sprain. I don't know if they announced how long he's out for. I haven't seen it. He could be out for months. I'm not sure. He has. Laird and I talked about this on our show the other week. It doesn't necessarily. To answer your question, he does not have another elite level forward. So like he could play both. But that's what like Laird and I talked about the other week. Like it doesn't matter. He can fill out U23 players for not 100,000 ETH to make these players worthwhile. That's what. So Hodges Light was just talking about. It's not really a closed shop. Anyone that wants to come in and buy the first player and have it be a big splash like this, they might have a better chance at getting this card than they would buying if they had like a full allotment. Like we heard AJ talk about it, and we heard like Zura talk about it. Zura tweeted about it, that if Zima had a more complete and better SO5 team, and also if he was like better at SO5, they would have been more concerned about him winning it. And there was talk about maybe making more bids to make someone else pay more, but he was winning it. So like hypothetically, like let's say this card would be like 100 ETH card, but they might make Zura pay 150 for it. But like they might like for example, if I popped in and I bid, they might just be like, yeah, okay, let this idiot buy it for 100. Well, I can fill out the rest of my roster from there for not astronomical prices where I don't have to go through those guys to get it.
I think that's a really good point. Like whether it's the first piece or last piece makes a big difference to some of these other whales.
Yeah.
Does the Gakpo super rare like fit in on D1 for like a placeholder?
Yeah, but he has like 2 Mbappe super rares, I think. He has a lot of good super rares. He just doesn't have the unique, but he also makes mistakes. And like I talked about it this week, which I thought was ridiculous. He had 3 common goalies in division in rare. I don't even know how that's possible after there's 265 ETH card that was bought and you're running commons in rare. It's like wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, looking for thresholds or only tier 3 cards in those divisions. I mean, You want a complete collection, not only the good cards, you want also the bad ones.
Yeah, but you can't pay the 1 ETH for a O Black rare. I guess you just got to run the O Black common and get like 4 points after you get destroyed.
Yeah.
Back to Andrew's comment a little bit about the Gakpo super rare. I almost feel like if you're spending as much as you spent on the Holland, does it make sense to really be running super rares with those cards, or do you need to be playing uniques?
You probably need to run uniques right now. I think that scores right now are just the teams you're fighting against are just so good that if you're not running uniques, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough week to ask like if you can get by with lower scores.
Right. Yeah.
I thought I had shots at like legit podiums. Like I thought I had like legit 4 podium chances today. And I think I'm getting like 4 tier 2s with like really, really good scores where no one like flat out failed.
I saw your U23, I think rare pro team or rare team. You had one team that's like 450 points or something. And
I wasn't going to get a card with that.
Yeah.
Anthony got an assist his last touch of the game. He got an assist. If he didn't get an assist, I don't get a card.
Well,
yeah, it's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'll just end up with 1 tier 3 this week, and I guess, I mean, tough one, and also not getting the 0.02 ETH in All-Star Rare. Having like line up like a 3 ETH team basically with Lloris, Pavard, Verratti, Kluivert, and Luis Suarez, and they can't get they get to 208. So yeah, a bit of frustrating week, especially with Munich or Bayern Munich being crushed 4-2 against like nobody, like Bochum is promoted this year. So yeah, and I think we will see an interesting week in terms of community and reactions, because it will start with like full house game weeks, because 246 will see the return of J League. I don't know about K League, but maybe, yeah, I don't know. But MLS coming back also very soon, and it will feel a lot like lottery. Like if you don't get like 70 on each of your player, you're probably getting nothing out of your lineups.
Pretty much. It's going to be difficult the next couple of months, I think. If we don't see an actual increase in reward number, in reward volume, it's going to be very difficult, I think, in the next couple months to get cards, because there's some elite level cards in America and Asia that are going to be coming out. Most of the guys that we're talking about that are elite level guys they don't miss games, similar to like the Ajax guys. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of like when I saw that Bayern result, I was like, oh, there's like a little hope here. Like, because there's so many Bayern cards, it feels like, in like, I guess mostly in Champion Europe. But, I mean, you see it on every level too, like whether it's limited or rare. Like I was looking, I scored 387 in U23 limited and got a tier 3. And I was like, like the limited prize pools are obviously much bigger, and yet you still needed just monster scores.
In Champ Europe Rare, you needed... Yeah, so I think actually the easiest place to get a card this weekend was Champ Europe Rare, because Bayern was terrible except for Lewandowski. Liverpool was not good. Most of Liverpool except for like Allison and like the 2 center backs and Robertson and whoever scored, Fabinho. And Keita was good, but like the main guys were not good. Like Kevin De Bruyne rotated, didn't play at all. There was other champ teams. Like most of the champ players, like the Ajax of Champ Europe, those players were bad. Mm-hmm. Not good. Whereas like
these guys were good.
The Ajax guys.
Yeah,
but Kessie came off the bench.
Yeah, Kessie came off the bench. Like Calabria wasn't good. The center backs were like okay.
I think Tomori had like 70, didn't he? Or 60s. I don't know.
Yeah, but when you look at every other region, literally every score you have is like
that's fair.
150.
Yeah, that's fair.
I saw a tier 2, or I saw a U23 rare team that averaged like 85 a player got like a tier 2. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, these weeks happen. We know they happen, and everything just gets accentuated when they do because most people don't have these. Like, everybody goes back to like, I can't believe I scored this many points and all I got was, and it's just a yet again another reminder that we're not beating a score other than threshold. It's that we're trying to beat other people. So
I will say, I do think yes, that is true, but there's also something to be said that like if you average like 85 points a player, you should be expecting to get something decent out of it. But you are right, like that is also true. But like, yeah, you look at the Ajax backline. The average in the Ajax backline was 90. Back for average 90.
Ugh. Well, I mean, you can't play all four. So
the funny thing is that the only person who failed was Tadic because he missed his penalty. I watched that game because obviously I had the sweat in, and it was just like Lissandro and Timber like passing back and forth, making diagonal balls, and then Haller was really good actually. He had a really good game. Actually, the second best player in the game was Unnerstall. Unnerstall was so good in that game. Like that game should have been like 20-0. Unnerstall, there was one save on Tadic that he made. It was the best save I saw all weekend. He was a great save.
Do you think he should have scored more than Pasveer?
Yeah, easily. I mean, Pasveer, I could have scored what Pasveer did. Like, Pasveer did nothing. Unnerstall got screwed because they called him for an error goal because he made a save, and like it was like a blast. Like Timber ripped a shot, and he just like the rebound fell for Howler like 3 yards out, and he scored, which they gave Unnerstall a error leading to goal, which was just it's an awful ruling, but like that's what Opta does.
Yeah, and on a final note on that game, it feels like it's pretty balanced because so Ajax defenders get like 90 on average, and 20 defenders get like 8 on average.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, kind of a balanced game overall. I mean,
it is kind of funny to see their back line 16.9, 10, 2.5, and 0.
Yep. They defended actually pretty well for a good portion of the game. Like, I'm being honest. I watched the whole game. They defended pretty well. Their issue with set pieces. They were like really subjective on set pieces.
Yeah. Also, I really don't understand like what's a possession lost and what's a possession won according to Opta. And sometimes your player does really well and loses the ball, but like not necessarily by mistake or by doing something wrong, but you get a possession lost. And if you're a defender and you are losing the possession according to Opta, you get like 1 point or 1.5 points taken away from your score. So, I mean, sometimes what should be great, like in terms of content from Sorare, would be one day coming on a stream or a video with an expert from Opta and tells you like, okay, let's watch a football game and tell you guys. So that's a possession loss, that's a possession won, etc. That could be actually very educative for people watching games and trying to check out the SO5 scores at the same time.
The only thing that I am positive on, so like I watch a good amount of games when on the weekends, or in general, like I probably watch quite a few games on a given day. The only thing that I don't think they screw up frequently is like shots assisted and shots on goal. Those are the only, and then passes too. But like, I can't tell if a pass is a long pass into the opposition half. I can't tell if it's an interception, a tackle.
Like, how many yards does that need to be for it to be considered long?
No idea.
Yeah. So my understanding on that is that so the stat operator also follows the ball with his mouse and like tracking the ball, and so when he says there's a one pass from a guy to another, he kind of tracks the pass distance and I guess the computer then says that's a long ball or not. So I don't think like a stats operator decide whether it's a long ball or not, but it's basically the computer saying, okay, it's a long pass or not.
That's long enough.
Yeah. So maybe
I
it's 15
I know
yards.
people complain about the Matrix, but we all knew what the Matrix was. Like we know what the Matrix is, so like you know how to go after it. It just obviously it could be a better Matrix per se. I think that attacking fullbacks are punished way too much, as we all do. Similarly, like I think like I watched the entire Ajax game, right? Lisandro Martinez from just passes, final third passes, long balls, and long pass into the opposition half. He generated like 30 all-around scores just from that. And like a lot of those passes is basically like he just passes the ball to the fullback down the wing or to like Anthony down the side, and it's like a 30-yard pass that which is fine. Like I'm not saying he shouldn't get points for it, but like basically what it ends up being is like that ends up being an accurate pass, a final third pass, a long ball, and a long ball into the opposition half. So like all of a sudden you're talking like that one super duper simple pass to Anthony on the wing that's like nothing, just nothing, is like 2 points. Like that one pass is like a 2-point pass, and it's difficult.
I don't think that's a problem though. I mean,
it's not.
Other center backs, if it were easy, they'd be doing it too.
Correct. The only thing I have an issue with in this way the scoring matrix is done is fullbacks and losing possession for sending it across. I don't think they should get points for it, but like hypothetically speaking, if you like send in a cross, I don't think you should lose.
Maybe you still lose points, but you get like a half point for attempting a cross or something like that.
Well, they give those. You get those points.
And it's the same thing for goalkeepers. Basically, when your goalkeepers is clearing the ball, most of the time it goes on the head of someone on the other team, and you're like losing points because of that.
Who was it that you talked about yesterday, Black? He was 4 of 35 passing. The goalie was.
And it was probably Acevedo or one of the Mexican goalkeepers.
It was Gartler. It was Gartler.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
he was 4 of 35 passing. His like all around. Yeah, it was all around was like minus 15. Well, he's just getting rid of the ball because I'm sure Salzburg was all over them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if they I don't know if Opta offers this. HG, you might know off the top of your head, but like basically where the possession lost is, like if you lose possession in the attacking third, that's not nearly as bad as losing it in your own third.
So you have like a lot of data points that they are not using. Like you have like hundreds of data points. Especially you could say like a shot on target. Where is it? Was it like weak or sometimes you just kick the balls. To kick the ball like from 30 yards and you get a shot on target, but maybe you shouldn't get 3 points for a shot like this.
Yeah, you get minus points for a weak ass shot.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
just what we want.
Also, shots on like on the post basically are not taken into account, and I think that's a shame. So you have a lot of things that you can actually integrate. But yeah. I mean, it would take another matrix, and I don't think we get another matrix in the next, let's say 6 months.
It always drove me nuts that shots that hit the woodwork weren't anything any more than just like a shot.
And it gets back on topic, guys. But Sean, are you going to be putting a bet on this?
Yes, I'm next up. That's why I had to be on the show. Wouldn't it be great though if I actually just like came in and was on the show and big dick and like, hey guys, look who the lead bidder is at. Like
that would be fun. That would be fun.
Pretty good.
I said just use your credit card, man.
I could. I mean, that's what's it go to 100 each? Oh no, it's like 250K or something, right? It's like,
it's it. Next one, it's probably too high.
Probably just over.
Are there credit limits that even go that high?
It's like 100. I think it's like 250K or something is like the limit that Sorare sets, something like that.
Oh. So you can't bid with a credit card for that amount?
No, that's why like there was a few auctions where like people would bid to an amount where they knew Roxy or ABOT or whoever it was couldn't go over that because they were bidding via credit card and their credit card wouldn't be allowed. Action knows.
It's 100.
Yeah, there you go. That's crazy.
100K. Yeah, so like once you bid 100, you cannot bid over 100K, which 100K euro. So like you cannot bid 100K euro via credit card. Oh, there's Roxy.
Oh, there we go.
85.5. And to end up with the power hour, like we've seen Tony Kroos being sold for 325 and Lewandowski 341. So I guess not, let's say
Those are rares.
a pretty wise power hour with not a lot of surprises. But yeah, anyway, I mean, okay, so totally new person.
I
comes
like
in.
that. That's fun.
Hello.
He owns some cards.
94 ETH.
He's been around for a year.
Wow.
He owns Mbappe Rare.
Oh, Roxy's over 100 now.
And 4 uniques. And last time he bought a card was 12 months ago.
Wild.
And to come in today.
Nick Batsner unique.
He just wants to say hi on YouTube. That's the only thing he wants to do.
I mean, he comes flat out from a year ago, bought Nick Batsner unique right into Vinícius Júnior for 100 ETH. No big deal.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I do have that so rare account. Maybe I can. So Sean, this is literally half of what you thought like the upside possible range was.
I think that we get maybe we don't. Maybe they're just. I mean, we haven't seen any other Blackpool. Okay.
This might be one of those bids though that you were talking about, Sean, where they're just like, okay,
they might let this person have.
Yeah.
Maybe what would be a good strategy? If I'm Zima Blue, I message this guy. I'm like, you buy it for 120, I'll pay 135 to you and just quick flip.
Right.
So 120 was not the minimum bid, so that could be a maximum bid from that guy. And Oxy didn't flinch, straight ahead, and bid just like 5 seconds afterwards. I guess that's the final price. I would be happy with this price. That would be like a correct price for the card. Maybe overpaid a lot by like some ETH, but a correct price.
That's got to be it, because we haven't seen people wait, so I'm thinking 132 is it. So Blackpool wasn't interested.
You can't wait. If you wait, you're losing money.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's it.
I don't know if I'm surprised at the number of people, like the lack of number of people who bid, or just this new one came in and took the bids of others. Like 132, I don't know if 132 seems cheap, sounds silly, but I mean, it's basically half of Haaland.
I would much rather have, if I had infinite money, I would much rather have this for 132 than Haaland for double it.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So is that cheap?
It's
it's most certainly not
acceptable. Let's say acceptable.
So that's the second highest ever ETH price, right?
Mbappe but
116, I think.
I mean, let's wait for Mbappe, Kimmich, and this kind of card to actually hit the market. Yeah, Marquinhos will not go that high because I don't know, defenders are like you can get more defenders that score actually high, but I mean, like the Haaland and the Vinícius cards are the only ones that have been auctioned lately, and we've seen lately like prices have exploded basically since the start of the year. So let's wait for Kimmich, Mbappe. I don't know which one are left. A lot of very hyped players are not have not seen their uniques being auctioned this year. So I guess we'll see at the end of the season if that was an acceptable price or not.
Is there any price, is there any push of the price down because this is not the only Vinícius unique? Or does it not matter? Is 2 not really that much different?
I think maybe.
Like if you have one, then maybe you don't need another. Although we do see like Mark bought both Donnarumma uniques, but like everyone else doesn't have one. And now it's just 2 people who have a Vinícius unique. But does it matter that even one had one?
So what we should look at to answer that question would be how many players play D1, and does that number increase or not? And I don't think it does, or if it does, it's like very slowly.
Right.
So I guess like having a second Vinicius card with the same number of players is not very frightening for D1 players.
His team is he needed a forward. His Champ Europe team needed a forward. So he has if I go by position, I'm going Champ Europe. He has like Szczesny, Szczesny, that's it, at goalie. He has other options too. He has like Luis Maximiano. At defender, he has Skriniar, Eder Militao, Botman. And then midfielders, he has Nkunku, Kessie, Chunameni.
Speaking of Nkunku, Zima Blue bought him for 11 ETH, the super rare.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. That went off.
Mhm.
That's weird. That went more. Hell, I guess that's weird to me. That went more than Gakpo.
Yeah, because his U23 is up after the.
Well, yeah, it is. He's just also not like as good. But I mean, he is already in Champ Europe and playing. But then Roxy's forwards before Vinícius was like, well, I guess he had Schick and Leroy Sané. So like he had.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good card. Leroy Sané is a good card.
This is definitely an upgrade for him in that perspective. And honestly, so here's another interesting part. He has Adair, he has Vinícius. Maybe he's going to be in play for Courtois on Tuesday, and then he has like a good partial stack.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think it's an upgrade. Like Sané, I think is a better scorer than Vinícius. And looking at it, U23 Gary is like he has Carlson, Gakpo, Sinistera, Openda, Anthony, which are good scorers. Even Dante Vans there that score pretty well. So yeah, maybe he's looking at the collectible side of things also.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's definitely more. He is more of a threat in all of the areas than what Zima was when he bought it. So it's interesting to me from that perspective that they like were worried about someone getting Haaland that could make a difference, and then they let Vinícius go for this comparatively. Seems interesting to me.
Yeah, Roxy seems like somebody you would not want to have this card.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That does not seem like the optimal landing spot.
Right. Like literally could be the worst one if you're competing against it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a $3.5 million gallery that he has. And I mean, you could also say, I mean, this guy has already like 150 uniques, one more, one less. Does it really matter?
It feels like it should matter, but maybe it's just money.
Well, that when Moon 120 ETH bid was kind of a surprise and kind of a first for big uniques, like seeing someone that actually came back to the game 12 months after buying their last card.
Yeah.
And they thought about it because they deposited like 120 ETH on their wallets and tried to get that card, but didn't work out. So hopefully we get another competitor in the unique SO5 divisions very soon.
Yeah, that's a big like welcome back.
So what do you guys think the mentality of somebody like Win Moon or whoever is second in one of these auctions, and you have your 120 ETH loaded up, and you come in, you make your big bid, and you lose? Are you hurting, or is it just?
No. So here's my theory is like someone that came to NFT through Sorare 12 months ago and took a look at other projects, made a ton of money out in other NFT projects, and came back to the original game and said, okay guys, I'm back and I'm ready to spend 120 on a unique card. I mean, that could be it, because like back in March 2020 or February 2021, sorry, they bought like Mbappe for 1.8 ETH and some pretty bad, let's say, unique cards, but U23 unique cards. So maybe they were interested in those cards, but especially. But yeah, I guess that's someone who made a lot of money out of the NFT market, in my opinion. That's still totally speculation, but that could be it.
I also feel like if you have 120 ETH to just plow back into Sorare after a year of not being on the platform, you're probably like, I'm rich, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably also feeling pretty good that you pushed whoever, to the maximum limit of yours at least.
Yeah, I mean, let's also go over the real winner here, right? Zurot.
Yeah.
He paid 39 ETH 5 months ago for Vinícius, what we would call a better version of a Vinícius unique, because he got the older, like the more original version of it, and he paid 39 ETH, and it's now effectively worth 132.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I mean,
that's a win. That's a win.
Yeah, Zero doesn't lose that much, that I can say, and yeah, pretty good on this one also. But I don't know if he was ready. I mean, maybe no. I don't think he was ready to bid on that one for real. Let's say he bid 4 times to actually say, hey, you're going to have to pay for like, let's say 70 ETH for that card, but I don't think he ever considered buying the card actually.
Yeah, I don't think he was a serious player. He was okay paying like 77 because he knew if he got it at 77, then that's absurd. But he definitely wasn't a player. How much do you guys think the two are going to go for on Tuesday?
I know nothing about the goalkeeper market for those types, so I'm not even going to guess.
I mean, they have like maximum utility. Like they're champion Europe. They're starters for their national teams. Their national teams are very good. I mean, I guess the Champions League run could end quickly for one of them. Well, obviously it ends quickly soon for one of them. But
so,
boom, Black! Look at that top bidder right there.
I love it. I love it.
So Courtois went for approximately 20 ETH the last time in a bundle, and so I expect it to be like at least 40 ETH. And Marquinhos went for 22 ETH the last time. Yeah, I expect it to be around 40 to 50 ETH. That would be my guess.
Yeah, mine I think is 50 to 75 was what I was thinking.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, there are too many. Yeah, Marquinhos is a bit too old.
Yeah,
and
what?
He's my age. Like,
yeah,
basically, we have 1 month difference. But that's for a football player. That's a bit old, and probably you have a lot of defenders that can score that well also. So overpaying doesn't make much sense to me. So yeah, I'd say 50 max. And also the time, I guess the time is awful. I mean, auctioning this card during the halftime of the PSG game is, to me, it's a bad idea, but I hope they prove me wrong.
Yeah, I'm curious what the argument was to do it then. Is it like, oh, let's make the halftime more exciting of this?
No, you don't know. Maybe they are running ads during the game and they want people to go on the platform at this time. I mean,
could be.
That would make sense if they go full marketing operation with those auctions. That would make sense. I guess we'll know more tomorrow or on Tuesday. I hope there's something that is linked to those auctions.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. Would you rather have those two or Vinícius?
Vinícius for me.
I would have those two, and those two, and for less than 132 combined. I guess combined maybe 120. I'll take the. I'll take
Yeah,
the two.
somebody that doesn't own a unique card, two's better than one, as far as I'm concerned.
I think there's some validity, I think, in Courtois going for a bit. People are thinking about the platform going to single scarcity, which has been talked about. Whether or not it does or it is another question. But there's really not elite level champ Europe goalies. You're looking at so Allison you can't go get because we don't believe that they are going to be auctioned again. Liverpool, that is. And I mean, even if they are, is YNWA really going to let anyone get a Liverpool card? And then you have Donnarumma doesn't even start, so that is out of the question. And we already know you have to pay 100 plus for him. And then you have Neuer, but he's 37 and he's injured. So realistically, what other elite level goalies are 29-ish that are in Champ Europe on an elite team right now? It's the options are just relatively limited.
Yeah, but
Good luck, HG.
There we go.
Yeah.
Seems like a great time for a DDoS attack. If anyone wants to throw it out there, HG and I are saying yes.
Those would be the steals of the century.
2 days. 2 days.
Yeah,
please.
2 days. We need it to last quite a while. I think that's why people have been putting in the big bids on these other cards early. That's why I think Vinícius was at 77, because we've seen there be a crash so many times on major situations. And if you get a 2-hour crash or something when it's at 77, it's I think
I don't think we've ever seen a big crash during a
not during
real
a big
important
auction.
moment.
Mbappe super rare. There was that big crash. It ended up going to 16.
I don't know that I remember that.
I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember some crashes, but not on unique cards.
Right.
And but anyway, they could easily re-auction those cards anyway. So
true. Yeah, now people know that me and HG are balling, and we're really going to be threatening people on these cards with our bid.
Yeah.
I mean, my 1.11 ETH and I are threatening. I mean,
I like your chances.
Yep. We know Laird can beat you right now, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Clearly, Laird has something in his mind because he's not tying up that ETH. He wants it available for himself.
Yeah, I was just waiting. I was trying to figure out what you guys are going to bid so I could just make sure I'm over.
He's eyeing up a Joao Felix rare on the market.
I got to wait for the next unique. Me and Gary V will have them.
True.
Oh,
no,
there we go.
Come on, Dream Villain.
No more DDoS attack. Anybody.
Wait for the end of the stream, at least.
He wants his airtime. He wants his screen time.
Right. He wouldn't bid on the Vinícius, so.
True.
Joao Felix is hot now lately, actually.
I
if anybody wants to buy a rare for 2 ETH,
what does the Joao Felix unique go for? 20?
24, I think.
The one Gary V bought?
No, what would it go for if at auction day? 20?
I think more.
I think it would go for more.
It's actually a pretty interesting case because it's probably a massive upside card because if he leaves and goes to a team where scoring goals is actually allowed, he might.
He's the Mbappe replacement at PSG. That's the best one.
Something he could go. He's going to go somewhere that's going to give him a chance to be good.
Right.
So last one, was actually bought by Gary V and for 12 ETH at that time, 12.6. Scores have been worse, I guess, in the past year. But with the market being as it is today, I guess 20 to 25 would seem reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a card that goes for unreasonable.
Yeah. But like unreasonable might be like 30. Like I don't think it goes for like 50 or 60.
But the only problem is that his L5 has to be more than like 37, and so they probably will never auction it.
That's about. He did get an assist off the bench this weekend. He is He's 1/5 of the way there. Let's see. I think he had. Let's see where he's at.
He had a goal recently.
He's a 45, but it's going to be reduced. Oh, Madrid played yesterday, so no, it's 45. He's at 45 for last 5 and 41 for 15 games.
I don't know if he bags again. We're talking like 55, Laird.
We're getting close. If he bags again, get out of here.
Yeah,
he's due for one every few months. I don't know. I just need Weston McKennie to be worth like 50 ETH. That was my goal price is 50 ETH I want for Weston McKennie. I just need him to like. He actually has some good games too. It's just.
I don't think we're going to see another McKennie unique this year.
No, probably not. He was at one point during the boot. His rare was like over an ETH.
Yeah. I bet not a single buyer was outside of the U.S.
Probably not. I don't need a buyer outside the U.S. Just give me a buyer inside the U.S. to give me 50 ETH for the unique, and I'll call it a day.
Well, sure.
So the only McKennie unique went for $600.
There you go. I just need to go for like $600,000, and then I'll call it.
So the first one, no, sorry, there's another one, but the first one went for
there's
$600.
There's new Juventus pictures. Looks like.
There's new pictures.
Yeah,
Isn't there?
So something's weird with the pictures actually right now. So West Ham players have lost their.
Oh.
They're I don't know. I think some player pictures like expire at some point. And so on Sorare data you have like some players with weird pictures or weird
like horribly
avatar.
photoshopped.
Yeah. Sorry about that, but can't do anything about it.
Are you just pulling that in from Sorare?
Yeah, sure. That would be way more difficult if I did it otherwise. Hey, since you guys are American, where should I place my money on tonight? The Bengals or the Rams?
Well, you can't ever bet on a Stan Kroenke team ever. So Bengals.
Yeah, so Tim the Tap Man, who if you guys are probably not familiar with because you're probably not. Black, maybe your kids are familiar with him anyways. He's like in the esports.
I hope not.
He's in the esports industry, and he's like the biggest mush in the industry. He's like said who's going to win a game like for 8 straight weeks, and the opposite team wins every single time. So he said the Rams are going to win, so I would bet the Bengals.
All right.
Not financial advice.
Yeah, not financial.
You can't buy NFTs anyway. You can't buy an NFT saying the Bengals will win, so it's not financial advice anyway. Maybe in the near future it will be. Who knows? I'm not leaking anything. I don't know anything about it. I'm just saying stuff.
Just putting it out there.
Next time I will talk about baseball. I will talk about tennis also, and we'll filter out all the clips where I said I was right. I was saying this sport is going to come in the next month also.
Well, baseball would be a funny one if they actually go on strike and
right.
Like that was the next sport.
That was
be like, oh, fun.
Mind.
Baseball. I think baseball would be fun from a Sorare perspective.
Agreed.
I think it would be the best sport. Actually, you know what would be probably a good sport is golf. I hate golf, but I think it would be a good Sorare sport as well. Yeah. But baseball would be really good.
Baseball is my pick.
We've had more bids on this Marquinhos card since we started than we did on the Vinícius.
You need to just pull it. Too bad there's no Joao Felix rare. You can pull that up and see if people will just fire off some bids there, raise the price.
I wish I could just like instead of bidding on Marquinhos with ETH, I could just bid with my Joao Felix rare card.
You should just pull up that Glebov super rare. Just fucking let that thing keep going. That thing's flying. That should be a 150 ETH card right now after I won it. Yeah, how about that? Black.
By the way, I agree with Matt. Everyone's sleeping on hockey. I think hockey would be pretty.
Hockey would be good.
Yeah.
No one cares about hockey though, but hockey would be good.
Yeah,
like from a
you-
DFS, from a solar perspective, it would be good.
Yeah.
You need a sport where you have a lot of players anyway. So I guess baseball fits because you have a lot of like.
Would you need? Do you need the global aspect though? Do you need different leagues? Would you need the Korean baseball league, the Japan baseball league,
No.
all that?
You don't, but you could reach other markets with those, and that could be a fun way to expand. I guess the problem with NBA, NFL is that it's. I don't think European basketball is that sexy to offer cards of, and basically NFL is US only.
Yeah.
And you could have like the Canadian league, but who cares about them?
I think hockey has some fun global leagues.
does.
Russia.
There's lots of good leagues across the world in hockey. Hockey's a good one too, because
Finland.
I think the key with hockey is that everyone outside of goalie obviously is the same matrix. There's no different matrix realistically that you'd use, and it's very high variance, similar to baseball. That's my concern with like an NBA or an NFL project. Like in NBA, LeBron James is going to beat the 8th man on the Milwaukee Bucks like 99% of the time. He's just going to get better stats than that guy. Whereas like in baseball, the 7th hitter could out hit Mike Trout. Like he probably is going to do it 25-30% of the time on the season. Same thing with like hockey. Like a 4th liner can go and a puck can ricochet in off his butt and he'll get a goal and someone else doesn't score. Like I think both of those would be really good sports from a I'm not familiar enough with cricket. I've heard cricket would make sense. I don't know cricket well enough to comment on.
It would make it would make a lot of sense.
It would make sense.
It's pretty international too. So
how about I got an offer of Brandon Aronson. I got two offers more than I paid for him. I was like, yes. I didn't sell him, but I was like, yes.
You got him for about an ETH, right?
1.3, and I got offered like 1.6.
Oh, Pap, let's not talk about the last baseball NFT project.
we're not going to go down that path.
We don't have time to discuss it.
I think we've run out of Vinicius stuff, so I think we should wrap this up. Do we have any predictions of what the next big auction will be? Not counting, I mean, Power Hour auction.
Mbappe.
I like your call of Kimmich. I think Kimmich would make sense.
Who said Kimmich?
Well, HG was talking about like Kimmich being auctioned. I think Kimmich would make some sense. I'm curious. I want to see what like one of the I feel like they need to break up the forwards. Like we just did, like you did Haaland, you did Vinicius. If you do Mbappe, that's like all of the forwards.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather save Mbappe for like a event that you like. They actually draw out an event. Like knowing them, if they did Mbappe, they would probably like just throw him up on Thursday night and not even announce it or something. But like I want to see like a non-forward, like a Cruz or a Kimmich or someone that. Marquinhos and Courtois are interesting to me from that perspective. But like I'd like to see like a Cruz or Kimmich or something like that.
Has there been a Jude
Bellingham
unique
unique?
yet? Yeah.
That would be cool one. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I would like that. Bellingham unique would be cool.
Yeah,
Definitely.
a Wirtz unique would be really interesting.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Let's see those. So rare if you're watching. Okay. So that's going to do it for today's Unique Watch. Thank you, HG, Andy, and Sean for joining me for that. It was not quite as high impact as that Haaland one, and we've seen more Marquinhos bids for something that's happening in 2 days. But we'll be back, or not these guys, but the Sorare Data podcasts and streams will be back next week. We've got Sorare Andrews, and then Sean and I will be back on Friday for the Strategy Pump Show. We got to probably rename that one again, Sean. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining. If you could please like the video, if you're watching on YouTube, that would be greatly appreciated. And also, please don't forget to subscribe so you can get all of our videos as soon as they come out. Guys, thank you, and we'll talk to you for the next one.
See you.
See you. Thanks.